I am completely fascinated by this moment that completely changed the cyberpunk world. It could be argued that this event alone allowed for the dystopian world of cyberpunk to take form. But then again, the world always seems doomed, doesn't it? Anyway, what I'm talking about today is the DataKrash event. To me, the idea of the internet being wiped out is such a fascinating concept because it is openly accepted in our culture that anything on the internet is forever.
Alas, Candace, fame is fleeting, but the internet is forever.
But that isn't reality. The internet isn't forever, and technological innovation, along with global events, warp what is and isn't possible. I believe most of our ancestors couldn't even fathom nukes, planes, or microscopic bacteria that are the root cause of disease. We are no different, only constrained by what we know during our times. I can't help but wonder if there will be a data crash in real life in my lifetime, and what that would mean for our interconnected world.
We're not f***ed. We are totally f***ed.
So what is the data crash? It is an event orchestrated by one of the greatest netrunners of all time, Rache Bartmos. Rache Bartmos was a prodigy netrunner that destroyed the old net in 2022. How he did it was by loading his virus onto the IG transformation of the net. In non-cyberpunk nerd terms, the dude put a backdoor on every operating system in the world. Cyberpunk Red describes Bartmos' feat the following way. In short, whereas most viruses must infect a computer system, the DataKrash was automatically loaded onto every single computer that ever ran the net. Period. I could have never imagined such a different kind of destructive weapon to be created even in a fictional setting. I like to think of all the devices I have ever connected to the internet and then imagine that all of them are now so dangerous to connect to that it could cost me my life. That's an unbelievable level of threat to all humans in the world. It is no wonder that inside the cyberpunk lore, there was no way to keep secure records, no way to organize over long distances, and no way to track economies and money, causing the collapse of the information age and the United States. In response to the DataKrash virus and Bartmos' involvement in the Fourth Corporate War, Arasaka killed him, obliterating the block where he lived. Upon his death, a dead man switch triggered, releasing Bartmos' Rabbids program, a twisted version of the Soul Killer program, onto the net. What does all that add up to? Okay, thanks for asking. All the data on the net is not usable. All records are destroyed. Programs roam the net looking to kill anyone they come in contact with. And oh yeah, I didn't even mention or touch on how the data crash allowed all the AIs existing in the net to travel through it unimpeded. Whoa. The only group with any amount of power to stabilize the net was NetWatch. NetWatch is a worldwide net policing organization that worked with varying governments to fight rogue AIs and netrunners in the cyberpunk lore. Despite their near unlimited resources, they realized the net could not be saved and struck up a deal with the Transcendental Sentience AIs, or TSAIs, to build the Black Wall, basically a wall that keeps humans and AI separate. What is even more interesting to me is that the team up between NetWatch and the Alt Cunningham TSAIs is both are trying to live their own lives in their own way in a space that has become an apocalypse. The TSAIs want to be left alone to inhabit the old net, while living people want to be left alone to use the internet in ways they used to. Researching this lore ended up humanizing AIs and alts at the end of Cyberpunk 2077's game to me in ways I never thought possible. I never realized how big a deal Alt Cunningham is in the Cyberpunk lore and how massive the implications are at the end of Cyberpunk 2077. It seems fairly clear in Cyberpunk lore that no one ever expected such an insane attack to happen. What Bartmos was able to accomplish was nothing short of incredible, but also evil. Sent the world into the apocalypse. It allowed mega corporations to take over and get all sorts of control that they wouldn't have otherwise if all the different world governments were in a pitfall in a power vacuum. There's so much more rich lore that goes into all the things that Bartmos and his group and Spider Murphy and Alt Cunningham were able to do. I'm going to save that for a different video, but to say the least, the lore is so rich here, it's hooked me. I've been enjoying so much about learning the Cyberpunk lore, and I wanted to share this journey with you, my viewers, because it's my creative outlet. So if you're interested in learning more along with me, make sure to follow and subscribe, like these videos. And I'm really curious specifically about the discussion of what you think a real-life data crash would do to us. Thank you to everyone who shared your thoughts and so much lore in the comments of my Johnny Silverhand video. I'm learning as much as I can, and I appreciate all the help. If you want to catch up with that video, you can check it out by clicking on screen. Otherwise, subscribe, like I said, for more shorts and video game lore-based content. Have a wonderful day, and be safe until I see you next. Bye. This video is sponsored by you, the wonderful patrons that make these videos possible, especially Travis, Dylan, Ananzen, Isapone, S9, The Taco Games, and Avlin. Without their support, these videos wouldn't be possible. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/redrendering and you can choose a tier that makes the most sense to you.